Hey, welcome to the final lesson of this section, the layer section. We have learned a lot about the kinds of layers of After Effects. Now we're going to learn about a type of layer which is really useful and is the adjustment layer. The adjustment layer is a layer in which we add some effects to adjust the layer below them. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. Let me bring this image that we have used a lot on this course. Let me fit to comp again. Alright, now maybe I want to make this image black and white for a moment and then change it to its previous color. So what if I don't want to mess with this image itself? I don't want to mess with the layer itself, but I want to be able to change the effects whenever I want. So to be able to do that, I'm going to create a adjustment layer. Let's go to layer, new, and you have here adjustment layer. Now these adjustment layers of course won't have anything. It has nothing right now. And let's see, let's select our adjustment layer, and now let's bring an effect. Let's bring, for example, hue saturation. And with this layer selected, let's bring down the saturation to a minimum so that it's black and white. So as you can see, this affected this image. But if I take our image and place it on top of the adjustment layers, it doesn't have any effect. That's because these adjustment layers acts for the layers below this adjustment layer. So it's a lot like having a filter. So let's bring another object here to our composition. I'm going to bring our video and I'm going to make it smaller. And right now the adjustment layer is not affecting because it's on top. But if I place these adjustment layers on top of the layers, you can see that it changed the color also. And if I take this to the top again, it won't be affected. So anything that is below these adjustment layers will be affected by the effects that it has. So that's really nice because maybe you have, I don't know, let's make an example. Let's have a lot of images like this. I'm going to create a copy and another copy and another copy. So maybe I want this all to be black and white, and if I want them all to be black and white, I would have to select each of them and go to effect, go to color correction, hue saturation, and decrease the saturation for all of them. So if I have, I don't know, 10 images, I will have to do that manually for each of them. So instead of doing that, I just create an adjustment layer with that option and place them all below this adjustment layer, and I don't have to do it manually for each of them, but I just create one effect and this will affect all of our image. Now let's make this fit to comp again. Alright, of course you don't have to be placing it on black and white only. You can make any effect into this. Maybe you want to add, I don't know, some grain. And you can see that it's affecting only the adjustment layer. So if I don't want it to affect it, just place it above. And other wonderful thing is that the adjustment layer can be any size that you want. Maybe you want this to affect one region only, so change your size like this. And maybe you want to create a new adjustment layer copy and place it here, And instead of this grain, I'm going to add some hue saturation. And maybe for this one, I want to decrease the saturation. So you can have 3 effects on one image, and you are not messing with the image itself, but just creating adjustment layers. So this is a nice way to add effects, because maybe you regret doing something, you regret creating an effect, so you just delete the adjustment layer and that's it. And of course, these adjustment layers can be animated however you want. You can animate the effect here on effects. You can change anything, or you could animate the position of the adjustment layers. So maybe it starts in this point and then it goes to this point, then goes up and goes down again, and you can create something like that. It can be useful for something. So you can see that the adjustment layers can be pretty useful to save a lot of time, because otherwise we would have to create effects for each and every object, and with the adjustment layers just create one only layer, adjustment layer, and it will affect everything that you put below this layer. And if you want to change something, you always have the effect controls window where you can change, remove any effect that you don't want, or change any properties of this effect. So that's it for the layers section of the course. As you can see, After Effects has a lot of options for the layers. It has nice options here, and we will see another kind of layer later, which is the 3D layer. And as you can see, we can create even layers with a Photoshop file or a Cinema 4D file or anything. So it's a really nice software, and it has a lot of features, and we can play with the layers. And the best part is that you can customize every kind of layer as you want, and that's a really terrific option to have. So let's go to the next lesson.